Quickly becoming your favorite segment right here on Off the Bench Weekly. We catch up with the executive chef from LSU. That is Michael Johnson, who stops by with us every Thursday answering your Munchies questions from the listeners. Chef, good morning. How are you?
Morning, fellas. I'm doing really well.
Yes, sir. We have had 2 additions to the Off the Bench crew since last speaking to you. Rivers has delivered a beautiful baby boy, Grant. She did that Friday afternoon. And then
awesome.
Caitlin Abear delivered Odette Abear Tuesday morning to a very happy and healthy mother. So our first Munchies question this morning comes from an anonymous user, #Munchies. Best breakfast for a mom who was just delivered?
I think that colorful, lots of fruits and for breakfast get your body started right. I always suggest lots of color in that, blueberries, strawberries, stuff like that. It just helps your body recuperate all those vitamins that are in there.
#Munchies inside the huddle. Munchies for the chef. Chef, will restaurant buffets have to end due to Corona because of everybody breathing and touching on the same food with the same utensils?
Yeah, I just had this conversation the other day, and it most likely is going to not be back or be capable for quite some time. I wouldn't say, at least a year or so, until we get a feel on what it is and how it's, what it actually is capable of doing. Common touch points like that, I think, will become a thing of the past to some degree.
Same type. Go ahead.
I was just, until they figure out better how we can prevent it at the buffet.
Same type of question here, and this is major. I'm hopefully you've got a good answer here. Mexican restaurants, they'll still be able to serve the chips and salsa, right? Because everybody's touching the same basket. That's not going to go away, is it?
I think that's going to boil down to no. I think that they still will.
Okay.
Scared me there.
You heard it here first. Breaking news. Tweet that out. Get that up and moving today. All right, Chef, Jacob Hester's in here. He says he knows you. He wants to talk to you about the Combine stuff.
I do want to talk to him about maybe getting ready for a Combine event, getting ready for a Senior Bowl, putting those meals together. I know when I was training in Arizona, they had a list of what I could choose from based on my body type and what they wanted me to do, which was actually gain weight. So this isn't a losing weight question. This is a gaining weight question, gaining some muscle. How do you do it and do it in the right way?
Well, lots of proteins, obviously, but so we put out options for the players, and we have the dietitians there ready to give them suggestions on what percentage of protein needs to be on their plate for a gain program. That's where the dietitians really come in and do their part. Is we put food out, we put options out, and then we have the dietitians there next to the line saying, hey, this is what you need to do, this is where you need to go. I'm not a dietitian, so I can't give that instruction, but what we do is we make sure that we have high protein diets at the ready, clean proteins. Fats to some degree as well. If you're on a gain program and you're burning energy, fats are not necessarily bad for you. They will help you build energy and be able to burn energy. So
I need to go back to that breakfast question because I'm not a guy that spends the time to eat breakfast. Coffee is my breakfast, but you made it sound like I'm making the wrong decision there.
Chef, most important meal of the day, isn't it?
Absolutely. Get your body started, and I'm not going to talk ill of coffee at all. I have a cup of coffee every morning. Caffeine is not necessarily bad for you, but too much of it is. And I can tell you this, I've backed off of cold drinks in my life over the past month, and I couldn't have felt better. But, getting a full breakfast is good for you. It helps your body start.
Chef, there's a big initiative right now with everybody at home quarantining of trying to get themselves back into shape, and we've had a lot of questions about what's the correct way to eat around working out. Should you eat before and after? Should you just eat after? Should you eat so many minutes before you work out? With somebody trying to get themselves back into shape, what's the correct way to feed your body nutrients around that?
So I don't ever eat and then work out immediately. I usually eat and let it absorb a little bit and then work out. And then when I recover, I also eat as well. And there's better foods for recovery. And if you do your research, there's fruits in particular help a lot of help with recovery. But there's also vitamins and minerals, electrolytes that are important in that. So lots of liquids as well that help digest. So my suggestion is not eating right before workout. I actually get up and drink my coffee and have a little bite to eat, and then wait about half an hour and then go run. And then when I'm done, and your body will tell you what it wants, to be honest with you. If you're working out heavy and you just ate, it'll tell you, because we avoid that at all costs. You might see your breakfast again if you work out too hard and you just ate. So,
see, unfortunately, I'm learning a lot in this segment, Jordy, because I don't eat breakfast. I don't drink water, and basically listening to the chef here, I'm just doing some wrong stuff here.
How are you alive? We spoke to Rashard Lawrence at the beginning of this hour, at the 8 o'clock hour.
Great guy.
Yes. How much does the serving size change for the defensive and offensive line compared to the skill room?
Yeah, that could be 2 plates full, to be honest with you. Yeah. There's guys on the line that were on lost diets as well, where they were told to eat a little bit less. But I've seen some of those linemen eat 3 plates full of food. I mean, when they're burning 7,000 or 8,000 calories a day out there working out, it's required. Your body is required to replenish that, and maybe then some if you're gaining, to get it back in your body so it can absorb and do it again the next day.
Hashtag Munchies. Chef, do you see pork and beef prices going through the roof and never coming back down?
Oh, that's a tough one. I've not seen it too terribly bad yet, and it's supply and demand. They just kind of slow down, and there's still hogs on the lot. I'm certain of that, but I'm sure it will to some degree when we get started back up. Supply and demand will say so, but I think that it should taper back off. But to some degree, it might go up a little bit, but. I mean, those hog farmers and pig farmers and cattle farmers, they need to sell cattle as well, and if they want to sell the product, the demand will help dictate that as well.
Hashtag Munchies inside the huddle. Chef, any good dietitian apps available?
I don't use a dietitian app. I have 4 dietitians that are at my ready for my availability, but I have been using some activity apps for my working out that. I started running 2 weeks ago, and I didn't want to start getting into it heavy. And the app built me up to being able to, I run and then I walk and then I run and then I walk. Anybody who's interested in getting back active, I would suggest tapering into it rather than just jumping feet first into a 15 or 20-minute workout that you haven't done in 20 years. So,
are there any apps that you use around food?
No, not really, to be honest with you. I wish I had a better question for you or a better answer for you there, but I have a library of books that I prefer to.
Old school, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Chef. Last week we tagged your podcast and your YouTube link with one of the initiatives from locals that we could help out with local bartenders and servers. If there is a message or anything that we can get to the listener, is there anything that you can leave our listeners with a message for that industry on our way out?
I would just suggest giving consideration to it because the restaurant industry has taken a big hit. I've got a lot of friends that are really struggling right now, and you got to be careful of the NPOs or the nonprofits that you donate to. So the ones that I sent you are ones that I believe in, and I suggested because I have familiarity with them. But just consider giving if you can.
Chef, we love the segment. Looking forward to next week. Stay safe. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
You too, fellas. Thank you.
You got it. There he is, Chef Michael Johnson, checking in from LSU Nutrition this morning. He's over on the facility. Jake, you were a big-time athlete coming out of high school that was recruited at a high level. How much difference do you think that makes in the recruiting process?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, being able to go over there, go to the facility, have someone like that at your disposal, that's big time. I know for me, when I was coming out, I was probably 210 pounds. Well, I was about to play fullback in the SEC. I had to gain weight. And the solution back then, eat more Bluebell ice cream at the dining hall. It's not like that anymore.
What was it, Miles Brennan, like a couple of years before a couple of years ago, was like they were waking him up at midnight and telling him to eat ice cream and pizza.
Yeah, that's kind of – you didn't really know how to do it. I remember waking up, even in the NFL, I would wake up at like 3 a.m., I'd slam like a protein shake, then go back to sleep for about an hour and a half before I left just so it sat in my belly while I was sleeping, try to help the metabolism and try to gain some weight.